Hello everyone, and welcome to your second royal reading of today, the 1st of July, here at MadWorldTarot. And today, of course, we're looking at this awful, in my opinion, Pat Tillman story. And I've done a reading on that, the award itself, and Harry and Meghan, their feelings right now, basically. And I'm going to look at a wider story now, and that's basically the impact that this whole saga might have on Harry's connection with the United States, with the American public, with the country that he calls his home. We know that he has chosen it as his residence, his official residence, and we also know that he is suddenly house hunting in the UK, so perhaps not quite that settled in America as we were led to believe just 6 months ago or so. So I'm going to have a look at this. Keep the Shadowland Tarot on the tarot table for this one, and we're going to have a look and see what's going on with Harry and his connection with the American public. And of course, at the moment, people are signing petitions and threatening to protest and speaking out and expressing their upset, their shock, their disbelief, their dislike. And it's getting quite intense. For somebody who was the most popular royal not so long ago, who thought the whole world loved him, he was going to go and lord it over Americans and be the king of the world, it must be quite a shock. So we're going to just have a look at his connection, do a Celtic cross with these cards and see what's going on, how he's feeling, what might be changing, and whether things are going to get better for him over there or worse, basically. So let's have a look and let's see. The little dog has decided to wake up and trot around the house and try and jump on furniture he can't reach as I start this reading. So if you can hear complaints, it's because he wants to be picked up and put on the cat's chair, which is not going to happen, because the cat needs her chair very much at the moment. Cat's nose is very out of joint at the moment. Anyway, Celtic Cross, it's tarot, of course, for fun and entertainment. It's all my opinion. It's all speculation. We are just reading energy here, and disclaimer in the box below. Harry and his new home. How is that going? His connection with America, with the American public. What is going on with that? Right now, we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. That is a solid connection when it's upright, very solid. And it's about longevity, it's about loyalty, it's about reliance and support. It's also the late Queen. And of course, Americans, I think, had a great fondness for the late Queen, thought very highly of her in general. That's my sense, anyway, of the situation, especially as many of the commentators now in this whole Harry and Meghan saga, royal adjacent saga, are American. We have to deal with the dog. So I think, getting back to the cards, that the Queen of Pentacles in reverse indicates that at some level he has undermined the Queen's legacy. That's what's coming through for me energetically. My opinion, Queen of Pentacles in reverse, that is an issue to do with his connection with the American public. They perhaps are beginning to see that, or have seen that for quite a while, and perhaps don't approve with that Queen of Pentacles in reverse. That is my opinion. Could equally apply right now to the Princess of Wales, just by the way, who is another Queen of Pentacles, a loyal supporter, hard-working member of the royal family, who has also been introduced by the Hasbeen and his darling wife. Situation for Harry and his new home country. What is going on? We've got the King of Wands in reverse. As I said in my preamble, he thought somehow he was going to be king of the world, or king of the new world, or the whatever world. And it's in reverse. So that was I'm going to light the fire, I'm going to fire everyone up, and they're all going to follow me, and they're going to ignore that dull old bunch, Queen of Pentacles, in that grey country where the sun never shines, sort of. And everyone's going to follow me, and they're all going to love me, and I'm going to be much more important and much more famous and much more adored than they are back in Blighty. But it's in reverse. Failed horribly, and we are seeing the fruits of that failure right now with this whole ESPY award saga. So what's the big problem for Harry with this whole thing? And we got the Three of Wands in reverse, that what he thought was going to expand and grow and flourish and be a source of optimism and abundance for him, even with that Three of Wands, has turned into another failure. It's shriveling, withering, disappointing energy. It hasn't come to fruition. Whatever he was hoping for has not happened. It's been a failure, and basically he's waited and waited and waited, thinking things would turn around with that energy, and they haven't. And what else is left that he can do to turn things around and make everybody adore him and think that they got the good one, the good royal over there in California, and left the dull ones behind in England? So let's see what's going on behind the scenes for Harry now. What is going on in his mind, really deep down? And we have the Hierophant in reverse. That's the royal family, and it's in reverse, the same as this Queen of Pentacles in reverse. He knows that he is out of the royal family. He has dishonored them, betrayed them. Those are my words, that's my opinion, but I'm getting energetically some awareness from him that this is what's really happened, that the royal family has shut their doors on him, and he is outcast now. He rebelled. The Hierophant in reverse is a card of rebellion, going against the rules, going against tradition, and he rebelled. He tried that with him. He was going to modernize the royal family with his darling wife, and look what happened. He's out. He won't be allowed back in. He's messed up. He tried to overturn the natural order of things, and instead he's the one who ended up with his life in turmoil, and he knows it with that card. So what is his focus right now? What's his goal right now? We got the Moon. He doesn't know what to do. He's very confused, very conflicted. He's afraid. He's afraid of what the future holds for him with that card. It's a great card of fear. It can also be a card of some degree of mental disturbance, the Moon, lunacy, all of that. Being afraid of the future, not knowing which way to turn, not knowing who to trust. Does he trust the one who led him into the swamp or into the forest, or does he trust his own instincts to get himself out of the swamp or the forest? Good luck is what I would say with that card. It's making me feel very anxious when I look at it. So I'm reading energy here, as I always say. There, I think that there is some sort of anxiety disorder that might be making it very difficult for him to figure out which way to turn and who to trust and what to do, because he's certainly cut off from them down here, and we know that because we have the Queen of Pentacles here. So he's made a choice in life, but it's certainly with the Moon has allowed his shadow side to dominate. It's brought out his baser instincts, his worst impulses, and now what to do. Let's look at recent past, his connection with the United States, what's going on, and we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. That's him. He has now shown up in reverse also in his negative aspect. He's shown up as someone they view, possibly, I'm reading energy, speculating, as unreliable, a bit dim, because the Knight of Pentacles is a very slow moving energy. In reverse, it can be so slow that it does make you wonder about the mental functioning of the person involved. Very slow, very unreliable, very unsuccessful, trying to make his money. Knight of Pentacles is all about the money and the abundant destination, but in reverse, failed so far, maybe obsessed with money, saw money in everything that he did. You could even say sold his soul for money, and look what has happened. What is going to happen next for Harry? who was Mr. Popular once upon a time. Got the Page of Wands in reverse. Bad PR, bad press. That's coming his way. That would be the Tillman Award, the SB Award. I'm getting a lot of flack for that. A lot of bad PR. Stories going to be written about it. I think it's going to escalate. We're about 10 days out as I'm doing this reading from the actual awards themselves. And whether he decides to bunk the event, hide at home, phone in an acceptance speech, or actually turn it down, he's going to be really feeling the backlash with that Page of Wands in reverse. And I don't think they're going to hold back in the United States. He so far blamed the British press for hating him and stirring up all this dissent and criticism. But I think he's going to start feeling it now in the United States. So what is his attitude to America right now? We've got the Hermit in reverse. That's him. Harry, the Virgo. Major Arcana. The Hermit is the loner, the person who is on their own, withdrawn from society. He feels incredibly lonely there. And there was a time, up until quite recently, where I would have felt some sympathy with that card energetically. I would have thought, oh, you poor thing. But the Hermit is somebody who retreats from society to find their own truth. They follow their own path, their own inner guidance. I was saying with the Moon that he doesn't know which way to turn. He doesn't know what the right thing to do is. He's lost sight, in my opinion, of what is right and proper. And the Hermit in reverse does not know what is right and proper. Might be listening to people he should not be listening to, people whispering in his ear. But the essential energy of this card, apart from being ill-advised and listening to people he shouldn't listen to, is that he is tremendously lonely in the United States and wants to go home. He wants to come back in from the cold. He wants to back in with the royal family. Queen of Pentacles wants to connect with Catherine, wants to be back in the royal family, wants to go home. Pressure he's under. We've got the Five of Pentacles. He is an exile. He's an outcast. So that energy is coming through very strongly in this reading. Look across the water. There's this rough beast in the foreground looking at the happy family dancing around. And we have seen the happy family dancing around recently. They have been a very unhappy family. So the fact that this beast can look across the water and begrudge the happy family their happiness says an awful lot about his impulses, his instincts, his what is churning in his deepest parts of himself, his shadow aspects. There is the shadow aspect, the Moon, of course, what you project. He really wants to go home, but he is outcast. He knows he's exiled. He knows that even if he physically goes back to the UK and he buys that house where Rain Spencer lived, or he buys that Georgian mansion in the Cotswolds down the road from Highgrove, he's out. He might be in the country, but he's out when it comes to this little family. So, yeah. It's quite a tale, isn't it? And we do these readings because they are morality tales. They're archetypal. They are morality tales. And so his hopes and fears right now. Knight of Cups. Wants to reconnect. We're hearing that he might even be trying to reconnect with the Queen. So wants to reach out, wants to send letters, wants to say, might even want to apologize with that Knight of Cups. It can carry an apology energy in it. Wants to be loved, wants to reconnect, wants to prove that he's loyal to them still and he still loves them and they still love him. Good luck. That is the hope. What is going to happen to him ultimately with his life choices and the countries that he has chosen? We've got the Five of Cups. It's in reverse. It's a card of tremendous sorrow, regret. Tells me that he's done with the United States. This reading really tells me that he's done with it. He knows he's made a wrong turning. Whether he can blame himself for it and undergo a process of self-examination, which the Hermit upright would indicate, it's in reverse, and figure that out for himself, or whether he's going to blame her for leading him off the straight and narrow, we don't know. But there is regret, there is remorse in that Five of Cups. He's done with the United States. He wants to go home. He's very aware of being cut off from the royal family, of being in exile. They are very disinclined to admire him at this point, particularly with that central card, the King of Wands in reverse. No love lost there. They don't admire him. They don't respect him. They wouldn't follow him. They wouldn't elevate him over themselves. No chance of that. Bad press coming his way in the near future, and I'm sure that's the next 10 days of a battering that he's going to be receiving in the press, unless he does the right thing and sees some sense. He's going to spend the rest of his life, and that's quite a large pronouncement, that's my opinion, going to spend the rest of his life trying to get over this mess, trying to make up for it, trying to, as I say, it depends how much insight he has, self-awareness, who he decides to blame for all of this. But the Five of Cups in reverse is trying to get over some heartache, some pain, some loss, something that has caused regret. It's going to be very, very difficult for him to do that. Tremendous amounts of groveling, mea culpering, all of that stuff. I don't think he's got it in him, but we will see. Pretty harsh reading, very harsh energy in it. Big mistake made. He knows it. He wants to go home.